Hey, tourists, it's your boy Domination. This is Back of the Basics. You're going to do this without text, baby man. It does back. You know this, it is, it is. Real men brought stuff, fake men brought stuff, real wrestling, fake wrestling. Practice where preacher preach on. And welcome to the Back of the Basic broadcast. Back of the Basic, Back of the Basic, broadcast Back of the Basic, the show. But I really want to talk about this, man, because this is going to be the official last time. The only time I'm speaking about this when I'm speaking and taking certain samples of this. I don't know, man. I know it'd be the last time I talk about this corona, and I ain't gonna talk about it anymore because I just think it's bullshit. Because they said the same thing about Ebola. I guess if everybody else got affected Ebola, I guess our Ozzy Osbourne got Ebola because this guy was eating bats and throwing bats on the stage, and he thought it was a rubber toy of bat, but it was a real bat. He even bought a damn he bought a dove off its head. He bought a dove off its head. They had to give him rabies shots. So what does that tell you? I don't see him taking the test. Now everybody claimed they got the virus. Let me tell you something, man. This term racism, people need to stop using it, and I'm gonna tell you why. It was our government who came up with this. They knew they can divide each race. And how you divide them? By culture, language, religion, sexuality, class, class, history, whatever. Entertainment. They use this term. Let's look at the word Caucasian. Get it? Let's look at the word Caucasian. We need to look up that word Caucasian. The Caucasian race. Look at this word, Caucasian. The Caucasian race is a group of human beings and historically regardless as a biological taxon which and depends on what of the historic race the classification is used. Has usually include ancient and modern population from Europe, West Asia, Central Asia, South Asia, and North Africa, and the Horns of Africa. You notice they said Central Asia, West Asia, South Asia. What's different West Asia they talking about? Because if you look this up, they are mixed, but other nationalities. There's two types of white people. You got the quote-unquote clean white people who have no relations to anyone, not even blacks. They ain't mixed. They pure. They part of this Aryan race. They gotta save their race from who? They made it up because it was cause of the language of the people from the Hindu, the India people. You could say that means to speak the Hindu language. Come on, man. When they talk about West Asia, they're talking about Armenian, Kazakhstanian, and Panamanian, and Cyrus, Stinstra, Georgia, not Georgia, but Georgian, Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, Israel, Jordan, King of the Wit, Lebanese, Old Man, and Aqua, and Saudi Arabia, and Syrian Arab Republic, Turkey, United Arab, and Integrated West Bank, and Yemen, all that stuff. That's what they talk about. West Asia. And what's Central Asia? Central Asia, they talking about Central Asia. What is Central Asia? The Central Asia, they talking about people of Russia, people of China, the Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. That's close to Russia and the Mongolian and China and all this other stuff. Mostly Russia, or mostly Armenian. Think about it. No, not really, but it's like, it is really. It's the Caucasus region, from the North Caucasus, from the South Caucasus. And then when they talk about South Asia, they talk about people of India. It's the Hindu speaking language. You mean to tell me the Caucasian race don't have no relation to blacks? You bet they do. They had it. For example, look at the quote unquote Sicilian people. Sicilians got some part 5%, I would say 5% or maybe 3. They don't have much black. They have 5%, 3% blood because of the Moors who mixed all the different races, all the women they were in sexes. Oh, I don't know what the Moors did. Moors had sex with the women and changed the race over there in Europe. That's why they keep the Muslims out of there, because they did not want anybody engaged and get involved in their women. Because without the women, what if you change the race, that means you dilute out the race. They didn't want that, but they have no problem dying out black. But when you dying out their race, they have a problem with this because they were the first ones did it before anyone. Look at the term Caucasian. If you drop the Asian, it's the carcass race. And who came up with it? And I'm going to tell you something who's responsible for racism. It was a man. It was a man. I was eating pizza people because they put white people in carcass race 3 groups. Aryan, Shamitic, and Hamitic. Let's look at Aryan race, because most of these white races really believe what they are taught. Well, why do they believe they came from the Aryan? It means respectable and Nubian. Respectable. It means respectable and noble. That's what it means. But it's a form of European language, aka Pi language. No wonder why they call their language Pi, because Pi was originally from them. Then they all intermix from other races, but they'll tell you they don't have no relations to the African. They'll tell you, but they're the ones who came up the term Africa. The Germanics, Nordic, North Europeans, yeah. And then you got Shamitic. They divide white people into groups of certain characteristic groups, what race that white people belong. Then you got Shamitic. Shamitic is the so-called people of the Middle East, because Noah's had 3 sons. You got Ham, Shem, and Shevet. Who the oldest race? White people claim they're the oldest than any other race. They've been around longer than blacks, longer than Asians, and longer than anybody, right? If they so much around than anybody else, why they still have issues in this country? Because they're confused. They don't know who they is. They don't know. It's not their fault. It's just that they've been conditioned by these so-called racist groups that don't give a shit or fuck about them. Look at the term slavery. It came from Europeans, but you won't hear that from these so-called black leaders. You won't hear that from these white leaders either. They kept their fucking mouth shut, because if they tell them the truth about blacks are related to white, oh yeah, they're going to kick their ass. They're like, oh shit. Yes, we knew that they have so much relation to us. Niggas ain't going to believe that whites are related to us. Yes, they are. Look at this term. It also means mom people, silent people, glory, and fame. This is what it means. To be called. So that means to be called of the language they spoke. And did you know Solomon means letter? Who you letter to of each race you're trying to communicate the communication? Look at the swastika. That symbol is created from the Europeans. But they claim it represents the 4 elements, right? Earth, wind, and fire, right? Asians have 5 elements. Wood, metal, and wind. And maybe thunder and fire. It's different elements, probably water. Asians have 5 elements of their own elements they got. Whites have 4 elements. Then you get it. Then you understand why they came up with this term. Oh, by the way, they'll never tell you the Ku Klux Klan are your disc relatives, your disconnection with you. What I'm saying to people, white people are part of your blood. They are. And anybody from blackish descent or African descent denying, oh, we're not related to white people, bullshit. Look at the Ethiopian people. You look at them and you're saying to yourself, some of them have Ethiopian features. You look at them and you're saying to yourself, they must have went in there and raped those women. So that explains of the certain facialistics they got. They look like more like European like. And some Europeans got African features. But y'all can deny it all you want to. Some blacks and whites are related to Asians. But for all you informations out there, we got to stop blaming the Asians for this goddamn coronavirus. We got to stop. Where is it coming from? Because they said the same thing about this Ebola virus. I don't believe it. You mean to tell me that Asians been eating snakes, bats, cat, dog? They've been doing that for years. So why stop now? They've been doing that for years. If you don't like their food, don't eat it. Now, don't get me wrong. They should have wrapped it. They should have made sure that the food would be safe to anybody eating. I wouldn't eat no cat, no snake, and no dog. No. I eat orange chicken. I guess I gotta have Ebola virus too. But at least I ain't got it. I tell you, man, people will come up with some shit, man, and they get you to believe that. And then we keep telling ourselves we're slaves. We'll still say to the world we're related to whites. Boy, I'm gonna shut up, man. You know, ooh, you got dumbass white people, dumbass black people, dumbass Asians, and dumbass everyone. Because they don't realize they all related. They all brother kin folks. They ain't spoke in years. And listen to this. And Talmud said that the descendants of Ham are cursed by being black, and it's depicted him as a sinful man and his progenitors as this deteriorate. Some Arab slave trade used the accounts of Noah and Ham in the Bible to justify the Negro sending into slavery. And later, Europeans and American Christian trade and slave owners adopt a familiar argument. Let me explain this to you. When Ham was being molested by his own grandfather, the two brothers looked the other way. They need to read that Bible. They need to read that Bible because that's what it says. Or better yet, they see their grandfather messing around a woman and he's supposed to be married. But it sounds like child molesting or sexual commit adultery. Do your research. It got nothing to do with this fucking skin color. I'm tired of people say that blacks were being cursed because of slavery. Get the fuck out of here. They don't want to tell you that blacks are related to Asians, blacks are related to white, blacks are related to every other nationality. There's a reason why they don't want black people to travel. There's a reason. They don't want you to know who you is. Because they're afraid if you start to know who you is, you're going to know who they are. They are a part of you as much as you are part of them. And all you white people that deny, that say you don't have no relation to us, you are damn fool if you want to believe. Look at the word black. Word black means pale. The word white means colors. If white says colors, that means they got some black in their blood. And Shem is between the middle, between Shephetic and Hamitic. Shemitic is 3 different races, but they put it into 5. And they claim they found 5 different skulls of each race that belongs to who. First, they say the Caucasian race is number 1 because of Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, because he believed that they are the most beautiful race, and according to the Bible, Noah and his family were white because all the flooding went on in the continent. You see what I mean? This is why people don't believe in God no more. I believe in God, certain sense, but they give it too much power to exterminate the Bible, to exterminate the Bible, to petrifies the Bible and put people into that, oh, we come from different race origin. What they're saying is they come from different race of certain origin of the continents they came from. That's why they're saying it. People, you better do your research. Ask your so-called pastors, is it true that are we related to the not only the whites, are we related to the Ku Klux Klan? You bet your ass you do. This is why they're coming out now. Because they don't want this stuff to come out in the public. And they will kill anybody that's supposed to tell their secrets. So what's the difference between a black Mason and a white Mason? I'm going to tell you. A black Mason, it goes back to the Moors, but it really goes back where they're trying to get the same education rights and be equal to white. The white Masons goes back to the Scottish Rites Freemasonry when they fight rights for independence because of the Templars to actual gift of the rights for the claim to independence when they've been oppressed by Britain. But that's something they don't want to tell you. And why Jesus was killed? Jesus was killed because it had something to do with John the Baptist's death. And they could put the actual men of attempted murder that a crime he did not commit. So they falsely accused Jesus instead and killed the man for no reason because he was the Son of God. And they didn't believe he was the Son of God. He just causing havoc, causing trouble, and not fall into man's belief instead of his belief in the Father that he was the Son of God that sent on earth the purpose to make a purpose to people, but he won't have to suffer and make sure no one else should suffer because he suffered. People, we need to wake up. They're the real reason why everybody's in groups. Even prison, they put a prison system to divide each race. Like that term, African American. The term African American basically means conquer people by the Europeans. So guess what? Who take care of black? It's whites. It always has been. They always know so much about you. But how come you don't know much about them and their secrets? They don't want to tell you, like, hey, man, you and I, we have so much common with each other. We all in the same family. They don't want to tell you that. When it comes to Asian, you look at the word Asian, no one knows where that term Asia comes from. Ask these men and women, where the term Asia come from? They say the term Asia came from Egypt. They couldn't tell you what it means. They couldn't tell you. You see how people mislead people? Now they're target Asian people because they spreading this coronavirus. Because they eating bats, eating snakes, eating dog. And the Asians been like this. They've been like this for years. Why you think they're different elements? What's come from that? Now, don't get me wrong. You do need to watch what you eat, but also watch what you watch on TV and watch what you listen to in music. You have to watch everything. But like they say, you are what you eat, and being eaten how you are as eaten as a food. Look at the term Asia. They call them yellow. They call them Oriental because they were oriented from all nationalities. Come on, do your research. You gonna tell people they can't watch no more Naruto? You gonna tell them they can't watch Dragon Ball Z? It ain't gonna happen. You got the Pacific Islanders. They nothing but mixture between African and Native American and white and all this other stuff. Remember, people, the Sam Bushman people. I guess they're black Asians, but in the eyes of blacks, oh, they still black. They still African. Not quite. Asians had a relationship with black just as much as whites have a relationship with blacks, long before Ben. What my point? You got Afro-Asian. Yes, African Asians. Yep, they don't want to tell you that. Just like Afro-European, just like Afro everything. Blacks are all over the world, just like whites are all over the world, Asians over the world. So stop blaming everyone of this virus. All this organized disease was all cough equivalent of man-made belief. Stop believe these so-called men tell you what the world is and listen what your heart tell you to make the world the better is. Because we all been created by the same creator of the Heavenly Father. to stabilize the earth for we can establish to ourselves to make our lives better for the better blessing than everything he gave us. Stop listening to everything what they tell you and start listening what the Heavenly Father tell you to make better. So fuck anything else and let's get this country better to make it better for we can better and go on about our regular day lives. Everything gonna be all right. All right, black brother, sister, Asian brother, sister, white brother, sister, y'all all my brothers. But at the end of the day, stop letting these people divide you. Because they did the same thing years ago, and they could have been stopped years ago. They ain't got nothing else to do, but we got to do what we need to do for say the purpose to make a purpose, for better to learn a purpose, to listen to each Lord, for the Lord and blessing and each blessing for us. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and that's all I can say about this video. It's your boy Domination. This is Back of the Basic. Chugga the Deuce says I would do text, baby. Until next time, all right? All right. Peace. I'm out. All right. Peace.